On Christmas Eve, 1945, the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, was blanketed in snow and festive cheer. Inside a cozy family home, George and Jennie Sodder celebrated with their 9 children. It was a picture of perfect holiday warmth, but by morning, that picture would be shattered forever. A fire tore through the house, claiming the lives of 5 of their children, or so everyone believed. For decades, the Sodder family insisted that the children were not in the house and had, in fact, been kidnapped. This is the incredible, tragic, and baffling story of the Sodder children. The Sodder family lived on the outskirts of town. The children were all home for the holiday. Around 12:30 a.m. on Christmas Day, a fire started. Jennie Sodder awoke to the smell of smoke. The fire had started near the fuse box. George Sodder, in a frantic effort to save his children, tried to get to them. He ran outside to get a ladder, but it was nowhere to be found. He tried to start his trucks to get help, but they wouldn't start. The phones were also out. With the house engulfed in flames, George and Jennie only had time to save 4 of their children who were sleeping on the ground floor. The 5 who were in the upstairs bedrooms were trapped. Firefighters arrived hours later, but it was too late. By dawn, the house was a pile of smoldering ash. The official conclusion was that the 5 children died in the fire and that their bodies were completely incinerated. But George and Jennie Sodder were suspicious. They immediately noticed several things that didn't add up. First, a neighbor had seen a man taking the family's ladder from their property the day before. The trucks had worked perfectly, and the phones were working in the houses nearby. There was no sign of the children's remains in the rubble. A state fire marshal later concluded the fire was caused by faulty wiring, but Jennie Sodder pointed out that the Christmas lights had been working perfectly just before the fire started. The marshal also noted that the fire had been so hot it would have incinerated the bones, a claim later debunked by a local crematorium worker who said human bones don't just vanish. A later re-examination of the site found human vertebrae, but it was determined to be from an adult. The Sodders became convinced that the children had been abducted. Witnesses reported seeing a strange car on the road that night and people watching the fire from afar. One woman at a nearby motel said she had seen 4 of the 5 children a week after the fire. She said they were accompanied by 2 men and 2 women. For years, the Sodder family hired private detectives to look for their missing children. Their story was covered by national media, but the leads were always dead ends. The family eventually erected a billboard on the highway near their home, asking for information. Decades went by, and the Sodder parents never gave up hope. They kept the memory of their children alive, believing they were still out there somewhere. The most compelling clue came in 1967, when Jennie Sodder received a letter from a man in Kentucky. Inside was a photo of a young man, a striking resemblance to her son, Louis, with the name Louis written on the back. The letter read, "Louis is in Kentucky. I will tell you where he is and what happened if you call me." The family immediately sent a detective to Kentucky, but he was unable to find the man. The letter and photo gave the Sodders a renewed sense of hope, but they never heard from the man again. George Sodder passed away in 1968 and Jennie in 1989. The remaining Sodder children carried on their parents' mission, but the case remains unsolved. To this day, the billboard stands in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a ghostly reminder of 5 children who disappeared on Christmas night. Was it an accident or was it a kidnapping? The world may never know. The Sodder children's disappearance is one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe.